Hello everybody, my name is Kate Olaf and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be investigating why so many Americans are broke. When I first hear that question, the first answer that comes into my mind is the lack of financial education. Now, you don't have to look very far to know that this is a really big issue. I mean, a simple Google search shows that 40% of Americans would not be able to pay a $400 unexpected bill. 40% of Americans. That's just ridiculous. I don't know about you, but that definitely sounds like a problem to me. So, who is to blame for this? Do we blame the education system that didn't teach us? Or do we blame our fellow Americans for not taking the initiative to learn it for themselves? I don't know. To be honest with you, that's a really hard question. But let's dive into it anyway, that way we can blame someone. So, as I read further into this CNBC article that was explaining that 40% of Americans couldn't pay a $400 bill, I found something quite interesting. The survey of consumer finances found that of the 40% of Americans who said they didn't have enough money to pay a $400 bill, only 20% of them actually only had less than $400 in their bank account. So this left researchers a little confused as to why half of the people who were surveyed would not be able to pay the $400. They obviously had well over $400 in their bank account, so why were they saying that they couldn't afford it? Ultimately, they found that the reason so many Americans were living paycheck to paycheck was because of the really bad D word, otherwise known as debt. The people who had well over $400 in their bank account couldn't afford a $400 bill, not because they didn't have the physical money, but because the money that was in their bank account was dedicated to pay something else. Researchers found that most of the debt that these people had was credit card debt, which is the worst kind of debt that you could possibly have, considering that the average interest rate on a credit card today sits at 18.04%. Now, you may just think, oh well, okay, that's just a number and it's typical, but I really would like to put it in perspective for you. Take note that all the averages I'm going to be using are from the United States. So let's say you had a credit card of an average interest rate of 18.04%. You had an average credit card balance of $5,315. And you paid the bare minimum payment of $133 per month. Guess how long it's going to take you to pay off that $5,000? Not considering the amount of money you're probably going to keep spending anyway. Oh god. They ain't ready for this one, Brad. Y'all are not. It's going to take you 62 payments over the next 5 years. And that's not even the worst part. Over those 5 years, you will have paid the credit card company $2,857 and, what is it? 89 cents in interest. Remember, interest is the cost you pay for borrowing money. So basically, you will have paid a little over $8,000 just for borrowing $5,000. And yeah, so that's why I tell people to be careful when it comes to credit cards. So when considering credit card debt, it makes sense why so many Americans are broke. Okay, so if credit cards are the reason as to why so many Americans are broke, then what's the solution? And who's to blame for this? It really makes me wonder how many people actually know what they're getting into when they get credit cards. I know for a fact that I didn't understand anything about a credit card before I got one. And so it brings us back full circle. What is the solution to this problem? Should it be Americans' responsibility to learn this on their own? Personally, I think that there are plenty of free tools out there, such as YouTube, books, podcasts, that if you really want to understand credit and debt, then you can. However, I do think that our education system sucks when it comes to teaching us about finances. One of my biggest worries is that kids can't learn about finances at school, and they can't learn about finances at home because their parents never learn about finances at school. So then it just creates this vicious, helpless cycle. Let's dive a little bit more into the reason behind the lack of financial education in the United States. According to Worth.com, a survey done by Charles Schwab showed that 63% of American adults wanted financial education to be a priority in schooling. That's insane. to think that more than half of the country can all agree on one thing. This means that it is a serious issue, and it begs the question as to why schools have not changed. The rest of the article talks about the importance of money management and how it can greatly impact people's lives. But this is where I personally have another question. If money management was actually taught in schools, how many people would actually use it for their benefit? I mean, because at the end of the day, it still takes discipline in order to save and invest your money. Whether you have some automation system save your money or some app for your budgeting, it still takes you to freely make that choice and stick with it. Now, I know this sounds cheesy, but it makes me wonder how much of becoming rich is actually all about your mindset. And I personally think that your mindset has to do with everything when it comes to the outcome of your life. I mean, let's take a look at a statistic to back up this argument. So with a quick Google search and the help from the Washington Post, we can see that out of the 400 richest Americans, 42 of them are immigrants. So does it make sense to say that if these immigrants had come to the US where there is a better education system regarding finances, that they would be better off? I don't know. Maybe some of them would have gotten rich quicker. Now, I understand that not everybody wants to do the work it takes to become a billionaire. Some Americans love what they do and the amount of money they make. However, I think it's a safe bet to say that all the Americans who couldn't pay that $400 bill probably don't like their job very much. And so if you want to learn about money management, then you can do it. Especially in today's society, there is so much content out there for free that you can learn anything. So why are so many Americans broke? I think it's because America has a buy now, pay later mentality. People don't think through their purchases and they want to impress people that they don't even know. There's a line from one of Andy Mineo's songs that I love, and it basically says that we own things we don't need to impress people we don't know. We go broke trying to look rich. I can't do it, I just won't. Yo, Andy, I'm waiting out here on Neverland 2, bro. Let's get it running. This is the problem with today's America. And let me just say, I think that every rich person would agree that we do need a better financial education system in America. But I think that every rich person would also agree that it takes dedication, sacrifice, and the willingness to learn in order to make better financial decisions. And that we can't just blame the education system for not handling our money better. And although teaching money management in our schools will help, most people are probably just going to end up in the same cycle. Make sure to comment down below why you think Americans are broke and your solution to fix the problem. I'm interested to see whether people think that we need a better education system or if Americans need to take responsibility and go learn it for themselves. So that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, support me as I embark on this financial freedom journey. And what else? Oh yeah, tap the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my new videos because we got some bangers coming out. If you don't follow me on any of my socials, you can find me at Cade Olaf everywhere. And as always, I'm Cade Olaf. Over and out. And as always, I'm Cade Olaf, and I will see you in the next one.